Hi friends! Do you remember reading the book Pumpkin Jack by Will Hubbell? This is the story where the little boy, Tim, loves his pumpkin so much that he just can't get rid of it. I'll give you a quick reminder. Long after the best trick-or-treat candy has been eaten, so after Halloween, Tim can't get rid of his pumpkin because he loves it and it gives him warm pumpkin smells, but when his mom tells him that it's starting to rot, he takes it to the garden and he throws it out there in the compost instead of putting it in the trash because he just can't stand to see it suffer. So then he gets to watch it. For a few months, it wrinkles, it molds, it rots, and then it gets forgotten over the winter time. It turns into mostly just a skin, a stem, and some pumpkin seeds, but not for long, because when spring starts to roll around, the pumpkin starts to grow, and Tim gets to watch the entire process before finally getting to have his very own pumpkin harvest. I read this picture book for the very first time almost 10 years ago. And when I read the picture book, I had a class that said, why don't we try that? We have been doing the Pumpkin in a Jar project every single year ever since. Here is this year's pumpkin in a jar, and you may remember this has been sitting on our countertop since November 2nd when we first put our jack-o'-lantern in the jar. Here it is now. I'm gonna give you a better look inside of it, because what we're about to do is take it out of the jar. We're gonna take the tape off for the first time since November. We're gonna take the pumpkin out of the jar and we're gonna transplant it into a bigger bin so that we can watch it continue to grow. Come with me, we're gonna go outside. Okay, we are outside. I have my clear container that we're gonna put it in. We have our pumpkin that is totally sealed, and I have the leftover potting soil from when I put this in the jar the first time. We're gonna start by just taking the tape off the jar. I don't see any more mold in here. Hopefully it won't smell too bad, but I guess we'll find out. We have all of our tape off the jar. Here it is. Now let's take a peek inside. It smells fresh, honestly. I actually was kind of expecting it to smell, but that's not bad at all. All right, I'm gonna grab the camera and show you a better look inside now that the lid is off. You can see all of the different sprouts, but you can also see some of the seeds that kind of got stuck on there and never made their way off. We're gonna take our big clear container. I'm gonna take the leftover potting soil and dump that all in there. I really wanna make sure that there is some room for the roots to grow. Here we go. We'll smooth that all out. Now, here comes the tricky part. There are already roots on the bottom of this jar. They are pretty thick in there. So here's hoping that this works the way that I think it's going to. You ready to find out? This is gonna be icky. Are you ready to watch? Okay, I'm sticking my hand in. This soil's very damp, very wet. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's coming out mostly in one piece. All right, so there is a slightly better look. You can see some of the roots. And then in to this tote, I'm gonna put it. Okay, I have a whole one here that you can kind of see the root. All right, so now I'm going to, as carefully as I can, kind of make this soil part of this. Here is the stem of our pumpkin. All right, and I have several little seedlings that I'm just gonna plop in there, trying to make sure that everything that has roots is touching the soil somewhere. And I'm also just gonna go ahead and get the rest of this soil from out of here out of this pumpkin jar over here because there are still some seeds inside. Oof. All right, icky. Okay. I'm hoping that adding that leftover soil in there will give it the moisture that it really needs. Now, my hands are pretty icky. I'm gonna go wash them before I touch the camera, but I can't wait to show you guys what this is gonna look like. I'll see you in the library. Right, here we are inside our new home in the library. Guess we'll see what happens. Say bye, Jack.